Welcome, race fans, back to SVR. This is the S2 race around Tokyo Expressway in the clockwise direction. We are looking forward to this race, of course, with these drivers and fantastic teams. Here are the team standings after Daytona. Leigh and Mega Racing are now joint top of the S2 division with 115 points overall. Brokaga have 103, Buckstein 79, Kimmy's Racing Team 72, JPI Jamplacht Interiors have 66, and Coach Dave Delta have 56. Let's look at the Drivers' Championship, and you can see that Empire leads the way with 2 wins, 2 seconds, and a third, with 89 points overall from Blonded V8 Eater, who has had the latest win on 68. He himself only 2 ahead of Jose Luis Cervantes on 66, having just missed the previous race, but back with a bang here in Daytona, in Tokyo, excuse me. Liquid Gecko, Mr. Consistency, has 40 points, just 1 ahead of Vice, who has just had the 3 races with us. Run DMC on 31, Nintendo and Lurkinlu joint 7th place on 30 points. AMAC has 28, Focal 27. Then comes a joint 11th place, John P, John Pauly and Jailhouse Chris. Then Zoomroom Bijan has 18, just a reserve driver though, and just winning the first round and quitting while he's ahead. Enigma has 14 on 70, is 14th on 17 points. Sock has 13, joint with Enlightened 1, and Christo has 11. Dummy 9, Fun Size 9, Ads, DeLucas and Sleepwalker run through the remaining 22 drivers who have so far competed in this S2 division. Well, hopefully you're looking forward to this race. Let's check out the situation from qualifying, and you can see that Vice starts at the back of our Tokyo race in 12th position on row 6 with Liquid Gecko, who is always the guy that saves the race and publishes it for us, so thank you to him. Nintendo is in 10th place with AMAC alongside him on that row 5. So Grinch for Brokaga starts 8th. John Pauly in 7th for Leigh. Jailhouse Chris racing also for the new liveried Coach Dave Delta team, with Christo racing, now a full-time S2 driver here with Team Mega. His Team Mega teammate V8 Eater only managed 4th place for the start of today's very, very tricky street circuit, with Run DMC in 3rd place for Bugstein, with a slightly new change to a sort of noir-esque livery for the Bugstein transport crew. Jose Luis Cervantes, no obvious change to the livery for the Mexican driver for Brokaga, and we yet again see Empire starting at the front of our grid. Well, hopefully drivers will be able to navigate this. You can see just how narrow this circuit is. There are no runoffs, no tight chicanes, no chicanes that you can skip over, and certainly there are curbs that will damage the car very, very easily. So 35 laps around this most unusual and difficult night race here for our drivers. Look out for back markers and overtakes, and let's try and track excuse me, as much of the action as humanly possible at the start of this race. The drivers are absolutely ready to go as the red lights are beginning, and we can get underway for our race. So Tokyo begins here at S2, and it's dropped the clutch and go. A long hold from the drivers. We've already got a spin going on. It is the Brokaga and Burkestein cars at the back of the grid, so Grinch and Nintendo struggling to get off the line. I think we probably want to see exactly what happened to them. This is, oh wow, that's huge, and that's damage for the Kimmy's racer as well. I think that's Liquid Gecko. Cars getting all over the shop and it's Sir Grinch really struggling to do a power turn here. I imagine that's damage for him. That's damage for Liquid Gecko as well. And again, we need to probably head backwards in time to see exactly what happened at the front of the race. Jose Luis Cervantes getting away, but tucking in straight behind Empire as they head into turn 1 for the first time. And the drivers are nose to tail, as you would expect at this early stage of proceedings. The Kimmy's Racing team teammates of Liquid Gecko and AMAC getting away quite nicely, already cooperating. Liquid Gecko up on the racing medium tyres with damage to the car. And we'll have a look, make sure that we get hold of everybody's tyre selection. Run DMC is on the soft tyres, going super aggressive then, and he's chasing down Jose Luis Cervantes very, very early here as the sparks fly. We go underneath Toyota Tunnel and into Chidoriga Fuji corner. Wow, absolutely frantic stuff then as Run DMC is hot on the heels of, and the drivers are just going bang, bang, bang through the final corner, hitting the barrier as they run through. That's Run DMC with damage, and his progress has been halted. We got damage on Jailhouse Chris's Coach Dave Academy car as he follows behind Christo, bringing the tyres in slightly more carefully, Christo, it seems, at this stage. But Empire leads on medium tyres from Jose Luis Cervantes on the mediums, and then you've got the damage on the Buckstein car, and V8 Eater walks through the gap thanks to, I think, in no small part that damage. V8 Eater in a strong position at this early stage on the hard tyres in the 999 car, and under the tunnel once again through the Takibashi corner and on towards Otimachi. They'll go back down under the tunnel, and V8 Eater already up one position. But he was being held up slightly, I think, and he'll have to try and go off in pursuit of the two leaders. Look at the field spread already in terms of total race distance. That is absolutely incredible here at S2. Liquid Gecko running just behind Jailhouse Chris in 7th place at the moment, and Vice has managed to lift himself from the very back of the grid up to P8. What a start for the Jan Placht Interiors driver. AMAC in 9th place on mediums. John P very much on his own here in 10th place on the hard tyres. Then we have Nintendo with that troublesome start, and Sir Grinch, who was all over the shop at the early stage of the race, clearly getting huge amounts of wheel spin off his start, and he just almost clips the pit wall on entry. I'm sure he's already pitted because there's no damage on his car at the moment. Empire ahead of Jose Luis, and they're not particularly close together at the moment, probably something like 0.8 of a second between the two. Jailhouse Chris pits. V8 Eater is trying to follow. Let's see how close he can get here to Jose Luis as we join him on board, and you see just how difficult this racetrack can be. The drivers will be locked into qualifying mode, and qualifying mode you barely brake at all on the circuit, but clearly race trim is going to be a very different matter with full race fuel, and of course especially for V8 Eater on the hard tyres. Empire with the pace initially, 55.668. Christo comes through, so Team Mega running 3rd and 4th at this point, and on a different strategy, so trying to split the difference between the strategic options available to the drivers. I foresee the drivers will try and go for a one-stop, but it's incredibly difficult to make that happen with the damage likelihood here at Tokyo Expressway. This is Run DMC. He's on soft tyres. He's trying to make this soft tyre strategy work, but he's got that damage, and he is going to be suffering a drop-off in pace from the maximum. Currently running 3 whole seconds slower per lap than Empire has managed at least on one occasion. Jailhouse Chris on his own in 6th position. We've got a battle potentially starting here. Liquid Gecko in pursuit of teammate AMAC. I think he's actually released his teammate during that sequence on the previous lap. Liquid Gecko was ahead. No damage on the Gecko car, and the pastel purple of Kimmy's racing team are currently running in that 8th and 9th position, and I'm sure getting a little bit of a slipstream here on the way through the Toyota Tunnel into Chidori Gafuchi corner, which is just basically nothing for these S2 racers. That's AMAC getting close to Weiss. Now, how did that happen? Weiss has lost time here, and AMAC, Weiss has got himself up into that 7th place. But that is not for want of trying from AMAC as he weaves around, makes a nuisance of himself in the mirrors. He's almost getting tagged by Liquid Gecko behind, who tries the narrow line into the penultimate corner, Yarakucho corner, and in towards Hibiya. He'll do well to stay out of the barriers here, Liquid Gecko. He's got that damage on the front and front right, and the two rivals go side by side. It's Weiss versus AMAC. AMAC on the inside line. Weiss will have a clearer run out, but unfortunately clatters the barrier, loses a little bit of time, and allows Liquid Gecko to sail on through the inside. Frantic battling here over P7, 8 and 9. Currently it's AMAC, and that's John P screaming through as well from behind the group as well for Delesi. It has been quite the event here at Tokyo Expressway for the Delesi second drivers. John P rubbing the wall that time. They couldn't find a way through as they head down into Chidori Gafuchi, in towards Takebashi corner under the tunnel. A double right-hander going past the Imperial East Gardens. And suddenly things calm slightly. Nintendo, what a recovery here to go side by side with Weiss. Liquid Gecko is pitted, and now so does Weiss. Weiss unhappy with the handling of the car on the hard tyres. That is a definite plan B, C or D for Weiss. Empire leads. He's operating in the 57s in terms of laps, but he's got Jose Luis Cervantes very, very close now behind him. And featuring, they've already started, I think, to lap the cars. Yes, Empire lapping the other Brokaga of Sir Grinch, while he's got the Brokaga behind him lapping one of the Kimi's cars. I think that must be Liquid Gecko then, who's had to pit. So it looks like having got the damage repaired, Sir Grinch has managed to basically undercut the other car there of Liquid Gecko, or possibly, well, I'm struggling now, I have to say, as we see what Empire could do as he heads through under the tunnel. He will be on worn mediums. I imagine Sir Grinch will be on better quality tyres, better conditioned tyres anyway, and running through, staying clear of the walls at the moment. There's a blue flag marker you can see just up the light display, and another one, and there's a third. So clearly Sir Grinch is passing those blue flag markers. It will say on his display as well, and if his engineer is doing his job, or they've been able to get an engineer for the S2 race, which might be tricky, then hopefully they will be catching. Here we go then. This is the leader going around the outside. That's accommodating, I think, from Sir Grinch, who allows Empire to go through. Now this is Jose closing on his teammate, should get better service from his teammate, you would imagine. And there's Sir Grinch looking a little loose as well, getting consecutive blue flags already. It's only lap 9 of the 35, but Jose's clearly struggling with the dirty air here with his teammate. What happens? They will certainly be able to communicate with each other in team radio. Jose going to the inside. Wasn't well timed, but he's managed to make it clear. Unfortunately for him though, Sir Grinch gets a little bit of a rub on the wall. That means he's going to suffer this momentum in the long, flat-out run between Hansamon corner and through Chidori Gafuchi as they approach that corner now, and V8 Eater very easily through. And look at the gain for V8 Eater on Jose Luis. This is third and second positions, and V8 Eater on the hard tyres. Wow, that was close to the wall from the Team Mega superstar V8 Eater, and he comes through and back underneath the tunnel out of turn 10 and heading towards the penultimate corner. Pit entry on your left. You've got to be really efficient to not pick up pit line penalties here at Tokyo. And look how close he is now as they go super tight, and what an overtake of I don't know how Jose Luis is going to take this one. What happened in front to Jose? He hit the wall. Okay, he hit the wall on the way out of the corner. No damage on the Brokaga car. His tyres on the outside left, on the outside front tyre looking the worse for wear. As far as Jose's concerned, that was probably a little bit rough, but he had lost momentum at that point. V8 to screaming off into second place. Jose Luis left to make his own arrangements, and the speed these cars are going, 178 miles an hour as they approach Chidori Gafucci turn 5. It's absolutely just courageous racing from all of our leaders here. But Empire has now picked up a good lead over V8 Eater, whose lap times are metronomic, mid 56 seconds ever since lap 2. This is tremendous stuff, and he's had to pass several cars, one for position and several for being lapped. Run DMC's in 4th place. We've got Christo running in 5th now, as Run DMC has overtaken the newcomer to the mega team. Jailhouse Chris, the double right of turn 6 and 7, Takibashi, and Jailhouse Chris running alone in 6th. 7th is AMAC, who's opened out a big gap to the car in front, behind of him in Nintendo. John P is in. Jailhouse Chris has decided to pit now off the hard tyre. John P is in 9th, Sir Grinch 10th, and Liquid Gecko, who's come out of the pits for the 2nd time, I believe, on the soft tyres now, and Vice on mediums, back in 12th place. Empire screaming through to start his lap 13, and he leads the race, having not pitted still. Lap 13 of the 35. Remember, you need to get to within the hard tyre window, I imagine, and V8 Eater's gap has opened thanks to the pit stop for Jose Luis, and Jose has pitted now off the medium tyre with 52 litres of fuel remaining on the car, and we're not at half distance, so I'm sure we'll have to add some fuel in here. I wonder, on board with V8 Eater, if he can see the Delesi. You can certainly see the Delesi sparks. They linger around much longer than the rear wing, but it's difficult to get a clear, straight view. There it is. So just the length of the final tunnel. Oh dear me! And you can see how hard V8 Eater is pushing at this stage, but his tyres in a much better place on the hards than the medium tyres of Empire. Through they come then. The Sakuradamon corner, turn 1, past the National Diet Library on the left, into Miyakazaka, and down into Hansamon Tunnel. The chrome effects on the 99, the 999, I should say, looking fantastic. Jose is still in the pits, is he? I think Jose is pitting on 2 consecutive laps for front wing damage on the car, so that has handed 3rd place over to Christo at this stage, who is doing putting a lap on a Kimmy's Racing car, which I suspect to be Liquid Gecko. Jose Luis coming out of the pits on a new set of hard tyres with half a tank of fuel on the car. I'm thinking hasn't elected to fuel up to the end of the race on this 2nd unscheduled pit stop, but he's on a new set of hard tyres. This is AMAC coming through, and he has, I think, Jose Luis miles ahead at the moment, but AMAC is coming up to lap, I think, Sir Grinch. That looked like a Brokaga. It is a Brokaga for AMAC. Behind him is Run DMC, and he's going to make it, he's certainly going to try. I think that's a waved flag, presumably still lingering for Sir Grinch. Yeah, certainly blue flags, light display you keep seeing repeated on the track, and he'll be used to handing over these positions by now, I would imagine. Rubbing the wall, dirty air for AMAC. Is that going to handle an advantage over as he tries to run through? And you can see the newly Boss liveried Brokaga team car that isn't able to get a great deal of luck so far today. Run DMC has lost progress. He's hit the barrier, He's picked up damage on the front and front left of the car. Unfortunately for Bergstein Transport, a new nighttime livery here, the black, replacing the white on the livery of the Bergstein Transport cars, which does make it a little bit harder to tell them apart in the driver's mirrors. The white and teal was always an iconic colour combination. And you can see the special anime version of the Coach Dave Academy cars here of Jailhouse Chris. He's being chased down at the moment. He's doing some passing, I think, at this stage, as Nintendo's in 8th. John P chasing Nintendo hard at this stage. And look at the sparks fly and into the wall again for John P, but avoiding damage this time. Just incredible, the dirty air effect. What is ordinarily a really straightforward race circuit, and there is more damage then. That is damage this time to John P in the Delesi car as he clatters the wall in successive sectors, eventually the front wing giving up its structural integrity. Vice in 11th, so Grinch in 12th, but Empire is being caught now, I think. Yes, indeed. Empire is passing a Coach Dave car, and here comes V8 Eater right hot on the heels. He'll try to follow Empire through. He manages it. I think there might have been a hint of touch again, potentially. This is the lapping process. The Delesi on the right, Coach Dave on the left as they go in. Well, it was contact between Empire and the Coach Dave car. And actually, V8 Eater avoided contact with the Coach Dave car this time. So I read that completely wrong live in the moment from the offboards. But V8 Eater is catching Empire. Empire is working towards that halfway distance of the race now, and surely headed towards pit lane very soon. V8 Eater will continue on his strat at this point and on his set of tyres for as long as he can, I think. As long as those hard tyres are producing the lap times, and he's still in the 56s. There is one solitary lap, 11, where he went above a 156, a 157.0. Everything else has been metronomic, and side by side they go. And he sneaks ahead to start with through Chidori, a Fuji corner, and into the lead of the race. V8 Eater unlocking unreal pace, and what an overtake that was for Team Mega as he goes. Uses the slipstream, he goes to the outside, creates his own line round the outside, leaves room on the inside, and steals it. A bit of a double toe potentially from the Kimmy's racing car in front of him. What a tremendous overtake as they streak into the tunnel at Takebashi, and now it's Empire who's got to deal with the dirty air effect for the first time here with a rival in front of him. V8 Eater screaming into the lead. A very clean move around the outside. Is that the indicator that Empire needs, that it's pit stopper clock? It is not. Empire is going to stay out as the blue flags fly here for the leaders as they come through. We should have a separate flag, I think, for when a leader is the faster car. Maybe it should be blue and white or something, because that is extra important, you have to say. We don't want battles being influenced, I think, by lead battles being influenced by lapped vehicles. And it looks like the lapped vehicles in front of V8 Eater are actually involved in their own battle at the moment. It's Bergstein versus Kimmy's, and it's V8 Eater trying to find a way through. Surely the rearmost driver of this pair should yield first and then try and take advantage. But at the moment, that's not happening. V8 Eater is losing time. Certainly, Empire is queuing up here, and you've got to say that one of these drivers needs to make a decision to pit. Let's see. There goes Empire. It's a great choice because it's danger territory in front. V8 Eater manages to make one of those lapped overtakes, but not really by any kind of design from the slower car at that time. The slower car just careening into the wall on their own, and that separates the battle going on. Here comes V8 Eater catching the Kimmy's Racing Team driver, and over the crest, and you know how quick V8 Eater is through this corner. And he's got the slipstream, he's using the overtake button as well. This will help his fuel calculation later, but it won't help him in battles later on either. So leaving again a good gap as we go through the snaking right-left and on the approach to Otemachi corner. down underneath the tunnel and heading towards Gautier-Thornton corner. And what will V8 to do now, as he's happy with the times? And there you can see losing a good second that lap thanks to lapped car behaviour on lap 19. But back into the 56s safely goes V8. I think as long as he stays in these laps, he will be getting faster thanks to the fuel, but slower due to the tyres. So we'll see what V8 does. But Empire has come out on the hard tyres. I wonder if V8 has got the option here to fit the softs right at the very end of the race and run this car very low on fuel for the second half. Christo is in third place, but a long way back from the battle at the front, as he hasn't actually given up a position. He hasn't gained a position thanks to the pit stop of Empire having stopped earlier. Jose Luis on the hard tyres, driving an undamaged car at this point. But remember, it is Team Mega tied on points with the Lessie at the head of this S2 division. So it is all about how many points can each team bring home. And at the moment, that appears to be to the profit of Team Mega. Jailhouse Chris streaks past our camera position as Run DMC is now catching Jailhouse Chris. Run DMC with damage on the car, so he's not getting the turn-in that he requires really from his Bergstein Transport Service SF23. But he's hot in pursuit of the hard tyre shod Jailhouse Chris, who's been on his hard several laps longer than Run DMC. We wait to see what happens with pit stops at the head of the field. The main strategy will be to try to one-stop this one. It becomes very clear to me now, but of course damage forces additional stops. AMAC is happening upon, I think, one of the Yam-placked cars, but this is not for position. There is the blue flag. You can see the light boards much easier to see, of course, than the waved blue flags by the marshals. But there is again several actual marshal waving flags, but the light repeaters up high on the racetrack. AMAC closing in, but the closing speed isn't particularly great. He's on new medium tyres, and we're not entirely sure what's happening with the other car, but Run DMC pitted that time through, so he has dropped back down behind Nintendo into 8th place. This is Nintendo, and I think that must be the Brokaga car of Sir Grinch again, as Run DMC's in 8th, John P is in 9th, Liquid Gecko heads into the pits on this lap. So Vice may well catch. He's got Liquid Gecko's teammate directly in front of him on the racetrack at the moment, but Vice comes through and he will overtake Liquid Gecko. So Vice on new medium tyres with what looks to be sufficient fuel on board to finish the race. If he can stay out of the barriers, Vice running in 10th place, hoping to pick up more points than this through the course of the second half of the race. Liquid Gecko in 11th, so Grinch out there in 12th with a Bergstein car about to put a lap on him as V8 Eater runs through in and is still running in the 56s, but it does look like the grip is starting to drop there on that front left tyre. How deep can he go into this race? Surely he's still profiting from the lower amount of fuel on the car than Empire has, although there's not a lot in it. So Empire running a fairly economic race to this stage. It's lap 25 of 35. We've got 11 total laps to go. V8 Eater is heading through the first sector of the racetrack. He's only 0.2 of a second slower than he's been at his best through here. A 3.5 meters per second northeasterly wind is somewhat unusual for the prevailing winds here in Tokyo city centre, but of course with all the buildings it is going to mean that there are gust pockets of wind that the drivers will be suffering. Not in the tunnels, presumably. And there's V8 Eater running out of room and hitting the barrier. Let's have another look at that, shall we, from his perspective. As he turns right, he just gets huge understeer, runs out, sparks fly, damage avoided for the Mega Transport driver. but that's got to be a warning sign for him, a sort of a let-off. Double left, not going into the pits this time, so staying on out. How did that affect his lap time overall? We will see as he goes across a 57.2. Empire is running 57 flat and previously a 57.2 as well on the new hard tyres. So it's got to be, you've got to feel, maybe advantage V8 Eater at this stage because he will be switching to a softer compound of tyre. Who does Empire see directly in front of him? It can't be V8 Eater at this stage. As he runs through, let's join him on board. Sparks flying from the slower car in front, I believe. We'll wait to see if that car gets blue flags or if we see any blue flags. 57.1, the last lap from Empire. Of course, now in a commanding position at the top of the championship. Is that going to change Empire's mindset, even subconsciously, for the next sector of our championship run? 13 races this championship will run to, and Empire, I think, starting to drive like a champion elect, heading into the left-hander then at the end of the circuit. That's Gautier-Thornton corner. And there's the blue flag indicator for the car in front of Empire. It stays on momentarily so that usually the lapping driver can be reassured that the driver in front is actually getting some sort of communication here. But Christo's got his own hands full. He's got to pass a Bergstein Transport Service car. He's caught him in a pretty good part of the track here and manages to make the overtake with better momentum through the final corner across the start-finish line. Christo, I feel, also now with a long portion of the race to go with very little front left grip. So Christo abusing that front left either by driving style or by choice of a downforce or slip angle that he's got on the car. This is certainly something that's affecting our leader now pits. Our leader pits with 28 litres of fuel remaining on the car. Empire has the opportunity now while V8 Eater is going slow. V8 Eater has returned to the front of the race, and there he is. That's actually a pretty impressive gap. There was a dark coloured car in front of Empire, but it wasn't V8 Eater's chrome red and black. It was the black and gold of a Jamplacht car. So he managed to do a 1:10.6 in lap, did V8 Eater. Empire was in a 1:11.4, so there's a slight delta there. Empire on fading mediums for that in lap. V8 Eater now has managed to come out on soft tyres. He's going to run nearly 8 laps it will be on the soft tyre. That is fairly adventurous, but he's going to try his best to build the gap. Well, he's got a gap. I think it's time to try and take it steady on these soft tyres, but try telling V8 Eater to drive a little bit slower, and I think you'll get short shrift. AMAC picks from 6th position, so we've got a good gap at the moment at the front of the race, which is likely only to grow at this stage. Christo in 3rd position, and Christo pits for the 2nd time. Christo in then, so Jose Luis, as he comes towards the end of the racetrack, he is on the hard tyres. I wonder if Christo has gone medium hard soft here, but has given up that provisional podium position as Christo is in. I think maybe a slight addition of fuel. Soft tyres have gone on for Christo, but he will come out of the pits quite a way back from that 3rd position. So perhaps the 2-stop not really working for Christo. He's got Jailhouse Chris in 5th place. A decent gap though between the two of them. This is Christo with the Kimmy's Racing Team car who's just been lapped. Lots of overtake left on Christo's car. Let's see about Jose. Well, he's got more, but it's not a huge difference between the two. Jose has 6 laps to go. He's on the hard tyre. Christo out on brand new softs with barely any difference in the fuel limit between the two of them. When can you actually use the boost here, though? That is a bit of a question for me, because the straights are relatively short. You don't really want to be hitting the boost. I suppose you probably can add a Hansom on turn 4 and all the way through to Takabashi turn 6 and keep the boost pinned through Chidori Gafuchi turn 5. We'll see. perhaps on board with one of the drivers shortly, just to reassure you of where everybody is. AMAC in 6th, Run DMC with JHS Chris Pitts now in 5th position, Run DMC's in 7th, John P in 8th, Nintendo Vice. So Grinch up from the back with Liquid Gecko on fresh soft tyres, and let's see, as V8 is presumably going to be conserving a little bit of boost here at this stage, but Empire is mashing that boost button. He takes his finger off the boost as he approaches turn 1. Let's see what happens as he comes through the tunnel. Will he use it down this long straight? He's actually declining that at the moment. He's got the car behind him. Here he is, pressing the boost. Does he keep it pinned? No, not quite through Chidori Gofuchi. I think he might be able to, given the amount of leeway on the exit of the corner, but he feels it's better to pulse the overtake button rather than hold it down. Empire setting lap times in the 57.1s, 57.2s. V8 56.6 on that previous lap. That is a second off Empire's absolute ultimate pace. I wonder if V8 is going to go for a fastest lap now, but unfortunately for him, the car exits the pits directly in his path. That is a Bro Karga. I'm assuming that's a Grinch. And there's the blue flag, and well handled actually that one by the Bro Karga car, the number 44. It's not Jose Luis, because it doesn't say Mexico on the back wing, so that's clearly Sir Grinch. I don't see any Grinchy stickers on Grinch's car at these speeds. Anyway, V8 let's see. Well, he's 1.5 tenths off his absolute best here. I think he might have tyres left for one more run to try and get the fastest lap, but a 55.6 is pretty frightening pace from Empire. I think the softs, the front left, will be past its best here for V8. He's hardly got any boost left either. It looks like the drivers have been using the boost to get past their blue flag slower cars. Here he goes. Let's see what he elects to do here. Still 1/10 down in the first sector. Empire is running in second place. Now he's unlocking some good pace as the hard tyres have really got into a good window. 56.4 for Empire. V8 56 flat on that previous lap, and he had a car in front of him just at the start of this following lap. Now Jose Luis is in third place, running in the 57s, low 57s here on the hard tyres. Cristo, 56.7 was his last lap, so he is catching Jose, but with only 2.5 laps remaining, that looks like it might be. He is the car most immediately in front. Cristo with the overtake available to him and more fuel at this stage. Let's see what V8 can do. Car far from its best in terms of condition. They've been rubbing walls, denting little parts of the floor, little parts of the front wing all through the race. You've seen as the floor will be damaged from all of the sparks and the changes of road surface that the drivers go over in these SF23s. V8 now coming upon another slow car at the back of the grid. I'm guessing that's Liquid Gecko, as he and Sir Grinch are still fighting essentially over not being the last of the drivers today. There is an up-close view of the new Boss sponsorship for Bro Karga. Unfortunately though, it looks like Grinch doing his best to scrape that new transfer off the side of the side pod there. Here comes V8. It starts his absolute final lap of the race. He'll go side by side with the Kimmy's Racing Team car. It's not a bad place to catch a car. And there's the blue flag, you can see. What will he do, as he's got a little bit of a tow? He's still within range here of trying to get a new fastest lap, but no boost on the car, so I think he's not going to do it. It's 0.5 of a second he drops back. It looks like Empire too far back here to make the difference. Jose in third. V8 on his victory tour. Can he complete this for a fantastic one-stop hard to soft tyre livery? The lights flash over the chrome of Team Mega. He'll round Hibiya corner for the final time, and V8 wins in Tokyo. with a fantastic run, up from 4th on the grid. Empire from pole, securing 2nd place on the hard tyres at the end of the race. And Jose Luis, well, he's quite a way back at the moment. AMAC has finished in 5th. Jao has Chris in 6th. Looks like Jose Luis is going to be able to do this ahead of Cristo, who is having his own trouble getting past a slower driver. Here comes Jose to take home another podium in S2 to the plaudits of his Brokaga teammates. And Cristo rounds the final corner then to complete our top 7. Cristo in 4th, then AMAC, Johas Chris and Run DMC. John P with a good performance coming home in 8th place. We have Nintendo on his own in 9th, Vice in 10th, Liquid Gecko 11th, Sir Grinch in 12th. But who knows? The traffic has been huge today, so keep your eye on the website for any post-race penalties. VAT, though, at least on the road, has completed a fantastic win here in Tokyo. I really hope that you enjoyed that today. I certainly did. And make sure that you do all the good things to support the channel. Make sure you're also subscribing to @SVR-Racing. And so thanks everybody for watching. I really appreciate it. We will catch you soon on the next race day.